Hello, amazing, beautiful people. My name is Sally Webb, and I have an inspiring perspective. And today, I just want to share with you my thoughts on attention. Really odd. But what are you paying attention to? And there's a scripture: do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. That my business is completely sat on, like that's the rock on which it stands. And I have been doing massive work over the last 5 years to really consider what is it I'm paying attention to. And I love Zig Ziglar's quote, and I may stuff this up slightly, but your input dictates your outlook dictates your output, and your output dictates who you become. And I love the fact we've already discussed that 75 to 98% of mental, physical, and behavioral illness comes from our thought patterns. So all of this, it's like whatever we are plugging in, whether it's Facebook, whether it's our news feeds, whether it's the news that we have, whether it's the people we're around, whether it's the environment that we're in, everything is incoming data for our brains to program. And I just want to really encourage you to have a think this week around where your attention goes, your life grows. Because psychologically, we have something called selective attention. We don't notice everything that goes on, but we notice what we're programmed to notice. And I think it's Covey's quote, where he says, we don't see the world as it is, but as we see it, or as we've been conditioned to see it. And I'm going to bring in a few things, but some of the things I'm going to bring in today is also including Dr. Bruce Perry's work. And this comes from his book, which was around the boy who was raised as a dog. And it's to do with our arousal system, stress, how we manage stress, how we see threats in this world where there aren't saber-toothed tigers coming to kill us. But ultimately, I'm going to kind of put it out the box. I believe that we all have voices in our heads. Now, I may be shot for that in terms of the fact that most people go, actually, if you've got voices in your head, you're a fruitcake. But actually, let's be real. Where does self-sabotage come from? It's not external, it's internal. Where do those words that stop us doing things, where does fear come from? It's sitting in here, and it's in the voices in our heads. So I believe we have three voices. The first one, as far as I'm concerned, actually is probably my voice, but God's voice. We have the voice of good, of empowering, of uplifting, of being creative, of finding solutions. And that voice comes when we're at rest. So it's actually up here, right in this lovely frontal cortex, when we come up with ideas, when we find solutions, when we're being creative, often when we're not actually at work. Because 90% of our ideas come when we're not at work. The solutions, because it's when we're at rest. That's one voice. Then we have another voice, which actually sits, as far as I'm concerned, right at the very back. It's stressed, it's anxious, it's worried, it's, oh, you don't want to do that, keep yourself safe, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. And it's emotional, and it's often reactive. And it's often about, oh no, I want to step back and keep myself safe. And the terrible thing is it's about fear, false evidence appearing real, so super unhelpful, whereas the front is all about love, living out valor, courage, creation every day. So we've got these two, one honors and one dishonors you. And then right in the middle is kind of my voice. It's all about me, actually, because my world is all about me. I'm right at the center of it, thank you very much. But I get to choose, do I choose love or do I choose fear? And what's going to bring the biggest outcome? Is it external or internal? And I love the fact that often we choose fear subconsciously. In other words, that's our default mode without thinking. Whereas we have to be intentional or conscious, or we have to go, hold on a minute. No, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. And then thanks, Anne Robinson, for that. I love that quote, just quietly. And then we have to choose the path, the high road, the road of honor, the road that's going to take us somewhere, that's lifting us and empowering us. So this week, I want you just to have a think about internally, what are you saying to yourself? Are you choosing things that are going to empower you, move on, move everybody else on around you, or are you holding back? And that holding back often brings regret. So if you've got regrets, it's sitting listening to that unhelpful voice, and it's time to flip it into the helpful voice. And the other thing that I really challenge you to think about is, what are you inputting? Who are the people that lift you up Who are the people that actually bring you down? That every time when you catch up with them, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm drained, I'm exhausted. Or what is it that you're listening to? Are you listening to the news? Do you come off the news going, it's fantastic, the world's amazing? Or does it take you in another direction? I listen to the good news every day, and that fills me, it empowers me, it gives me wisdom, it gives me discernment, it gives me insight, it's the most biggest book of encouragement. I'm like, bring it on. And I choose to do that. And I choose not to listen to the world news because I actually have no influence over that. I have an influence over my world, the words I speak, the people I come into contact with, the videos I make. That's my bag. I'm not responsible for the whole world. I'm responsible for my world. And in my world, I get to choose. I get to choose what I listen to, who I hang out with, where I go, where I live. What is that? And does it bring me joy? So I encourage you, 2 things this week. Internally, what voices are you listening to? And if they're unhelpful, flip them into helpful. How do you need to do that? And if you want more information, we do a full training on this for VIP. So we give you the tools and workbooks on how to flip that, but also external. And again, if you want a VIP, you can come and have some tips on that too. But externally, what is it you're listening to? What is it you're watching? What is it you're paying attention to? Because we want your selective attention. We want you to be actually programming the stuff you really want in life. So if you want to become an astronaut, there is no point in watching YouTube clips about how to fix a car. But if you want to become a mechanic, that might be super helpful. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. Have a think about what you really want and just enjoy every moment of every day. Make it good for you. Thank you.